Hi friends, you're live here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch. It's so good to see you. Yesterday, my daughter and I were at the beach and we found some really good stuff. Now it's the same body of water as the place I showed you from last week that we foraged from, but it's a different beach. And so that's kind of what Lily and I realized yesterday that we love about the area that we live in, because all of the different beaches have different things, and that's a really good thing to like note in your grimoire or your book of shadows. Be noting where you can find good stuff. Like for instance, at the beach from last week, we didn't find any sea glass. We didn't find much sea brick. We didn't find flat stones. But at this place, we found all of those things. At the other beach from last weekend, we found loads of crab shells that were already cleaned and picked off. We found loads of colored rocks. So, you know, these are things that are good to note in your book of shadows or your grimoire or your witchcraft notebook or whatever you call it, your diary. Because that way you know where to go for what you need, because it's going to be different even if it's the same body of water. Alright, so here we go. A lot of stuff to show you guys, like in the picture, but I want to say, first we're going to do sea foragings, and then we're going to do forest foragings. Lily and I went on a trail walk today, and those are probably some of my favorites. Like the sea foraging is so much of a cool meditation, because you're kind of blocking out everything around you and looking down at the ground, and with that like ASMR of the sea, the sounds that are happening around you, the birds, the water, etc. And you're really looking. Like, I don't think most of us look enough. We see the ground and we see grass, or we see the beach and we see rocks. But if you get really, really close, you're going to see some amazing things. And when I show you the forest foragings, I'll have a really good example of that. Okay, so we'll start with the sea foragings. We did. Now that the sun's been coming out, we've been having really, really, really good weekends. Hey, Madam Butterfly. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Katie Art. So good to see you guys. And a really good book to go with both of these things, forest foragings, sea foragings, etc., is Scott Cunningham's Earth Power. Joyce Jordan, welcome. So good to see you. The picture that you drew of me is right back there. It stays back there always. I love it. So I like this book, and when I first got it, I didn't like it because it doesn't have an index. But now that I'm working with things and more of my intuition and not running to books for everything, and listening to the voice inside and executing logic, this book is great. And so I just want to tell you the chapters that are in it. We've read from this book many times before on my channel. The chapters are Touching the Earth, Magic Spelled Out, Techniques, the Elements, and Magic. Earth Magic, Air Magic, Fire Magic, Water Magic, Stone Magic, Tree Magic, Image Magic, Knot Magic, Candle Magic, Wax Magic, Mirror Magic, Rain, Fog, and Storm Magic, and Sea Magic is the last chapter. So I suppose at some point I should read the entire chapter of Sea Magic. I feel like I've done it before, but it was just, out of the 1,000 videos I have, it's like, I don't know if I did it anymore. But Sea Magic, great chapter. Sonia, welcome, welcome. And you know, it's only a few pages, and there's like a lot of good information. And the cool thing is that it gives you ideas. It gives you ideas of what you could do in your creative mind. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to do this video. Let's bring you back a bit and bring this way. I thought I had it ready. I mean, I do, but this will be easier for me. Then we'll just tip you down, yeah? Okay. Long weekend. My kiddo sure does tire me out, but I love her like no other. Alright, here we go. God bless a TV tray, yeah? I use them all the time. They're like little portable tables. Okay, so let's talk about what is on this tray. First of all, everything that you see here, and your comments are there, so I can't really see. There we go. Everything that you see here is sea brick. Now I have a couple bigger chunks of sea brick, some of which have some dried up barnacles on them. Really cool for, you know, well, it's taxidermy, isn't it? And elemental magic, etc. And then these ones that I love are all these little tiny bits of stone that are just broken from the pieces of bricks naturally in the sea, and they polish into what look like rocks, you know. And they're just so lovely. They're rounded by the sea, and you think of all the time that went into that and all that earth energy. The tides are ruled by the moon, so if you work with the moon, hi Mama Wolf, hi Amethyst Crow, nice to see you. If you work with the moon, I really have a connection to these because of the tides and how the tides move and make these sea bricks. Sea brick rocks. You know, I don't know what to call them. Alright, so another thing we found at this beach that we didn't find at the other beach were a lot of flat stones. And some people might call them skipping stones, but when they're flat like this, and you throw them to make a wish, if they skip, your wish comes true. Okay, y'all, that's witchcraft. Like, seriously, it's intention, energy, and you know, wish upon a star. All these things, they're magic. It's just Hollywood makes us think that it's a pipe dream, but it's not. Okay, and then next I found like all of these teeny tiny baby oyster shells, all the way from like, I mean, they're just so small and so cute. And these are the ones that I want to make like a ruin kit out of, but not with ruins, but with pictures or numbers or something like that, like a throwing kit. So my Etsy's down below if you guys want any like sea witch bone throwing kits or just a bunch of stuff from the sea to do with whatever you want. So make sure to check that out. Here I have, I don't know what this is. Like, it's an oyster shell that's really quite old. It's got a bunch of green on it, some barnacles, but below it looks like it's almost petrified. Like, it looks like cement filled it up, and I know that it's not cement. So I don't know what this is, but I really, really do like it, and it just kind of lays flat. I grabbed a bunch of these purple clam shells because the purple is so bright and so vibrant, and purple is, you know, the color of alchemy. So it's a very powerful color when we're working in witchcraft and color magic, etc. I like this stone that just split right in half. Lays flat. This stone reminded me of a kidney bean or the moon. So you could do medicinal work with this stone, like if you had trouble with your kidneys, or you could make it represent the moon, or if you had it in a casting kit, it would represent whatever you felt at that moment. I got this big giant rock with a bunch of lines through it and a big chunk worn out. These are all from the sea. I got some more little weird crazy rocks. This one has some really beautiful lines in it. Almost looks like tiger's eye. It's not, obviously, it's a rock, but then I got two stones that are kind of rare to find on our beach. This is a Pacific Northwest mussel, different than the New Zealand green mussels. You have one shaped like that? Like this, Madam Butterfly? That's awesome. I just like really gravitated toward this. I thought it was so cool. At this beach, I only found a little bit of crab shells compared to the last beach. I found one big pincher. Here's what's cool about if you're looking for shells, look near the rocks, because the birds bring them up high and then they drop them on the rocks so that they'll crack and break, and then they go down and they pick the meat out. So a lot of these crab shells I found within... Okay, Madam Butterfly, I'll have to rewatch the video back. Which I do anyway, so no worries. But I found a lot of these crab shells just over on the rocks and stuff. But I always like it when I can find a full pincher that's fully been cleaned out by nature. Really nice. And also, I know that a lot of people are like, doesn't it reek like the sea? Okay, when I was in Texas, that Texas sea, when I brought it home, it reeked. This is different. Even these don't smell any different than this rock. Like, it just smells like salt water, like the sea, like beautiful, fresh air. In my opinion, because I'm from here, yeah? Hi, Audie! So nice to see you. Welcome. Wow. Nice to see you here. You're going to start one. That's fantastic. I think it's great to start one. I want to show you guys some of the, this is the last shell that I found. It's one of these spiral shells, I guess like a snail shell, and there's just some gorgeous colors in there. Normally I don't pick up stones that have been broken, but these are rare around here, so I grabbed it. And I found a bunch of sea glass. Be careful with your sea glass. Make sure it's actually polished. But yeah, I found a big, nice, hefty green chunk and then a lot of brown chunks. So I'll note in my Book of Shadows. Hey, Uncle Badger, welcome. So nice to see you. I'll note in my Book of Shadows or Grimoire if I had one. Mine is just mental in my channel right now. I'll just be honest. This beach is a great place for sea glass. It's a great place for sea brick. It's a great place for these baby oyster shells. But here's a cool thing. So some of these oyster shells have little like holes in them. Doesn't this look like a ghost's face? Doesn't it look like a screaming ghost face to you guys? Me and Lily both saw it in there and I was like, ah, that's spooky, right? Look at that. Eyes, nose, mouth. And then I got a bunch of oyster shells that have like 1 or 2 holes in them so that I can put them on necklaces, right? With just some black hemp or something and just have like a necklace with some stones and some hemp on it, you know, and make those for people. So that'll be really fun. And then I found some just barnacles that were dried up in the sun, just a little cluster of barnacles. And then loads of rocks, like little tiny rocks, but I just want to show you guys my favorite one that's like the most unique. And it's completely dry, but you can still tell how beautiful it is. It looks like fire. It honestly looks like dark red at the bottom, and it comes up to this like amazing yellow color. And I adore it. It's so tiny, I adore it. I think that's all for this tray. But I am going to say that next time I go, I'm going to fill this up with seawater. Okay? And I'm going to use it for working. So water is a conductor of energy. So if you pour water into a glass or an earthen bowl, like clay or wood or something that's a natural substance, and you do your working right inside, and maybe candles around or candles on the inside, 2222, I love it. I love it! Then I can have it in this dark amber glass bottle, and I don't have to put it in the cupboard necessarily because the light won't penetrate through. And then this is enough to pour into a bowl for a working, to do a sea working, like in that gorgeous seawater, that water that touches all edges of the earth and comes back around to me. And I think that that's beautiful. So next we're going to talk about my other tray and then go through my backpack. This tray really can't be moved. I'll just take things off of it. Oh, okay. Hello. Welcome to videos that aren't edited. It's lovely, but it's kind of hard to watch, so bear with me. Found this wicked piece of driftwood. You know, it's not uber common. Like, I feel like it's a little bit too big for like a wand or something, but I don't use wands. I use my eyes, I use my hands and my rings, and I use my hair, and I use my energetic vibrations. I don't use a wand, but I don't think there's anything wrong with wands. However, when I pick up stuff like this, I use them for what I call pounding sticks. So basically, like if I was doing a working, instead of using a wand to direct my energy, I like to use a pounding stick to pound my energy on the ground, on the earth, on the table, on the carpet, wherever I'm doing my working. It doesn't really matter where I do it. And this is a really good like thumb area for pounding. And you guys have seen me talk about like exorcism sticks and things like that. This is just my intuitive way of doing it. And then I did find some driftwood that was like more common, I suppose, And then here's some drifted wood. Pretty cool, look. Can you see me? So there's a hole in there, which is awesome. And we know about hold stones and about how hold stones are great for divination, not divination, but seeing through the veil. So if you wanted to see through the veil, you could hold up a hold stone and look through it and see what you see. Perhaps you could see some fae, perhaps you could see whatever you are looking for, honestly. Spirits, leprechauns, what have you. Doesn't really matter. You could find it. I don't think that that's limited to just hold stones. I feel that it's limited to what you put your intention into, which means it's limitless. Witch of the Woods. And then I found this, like, I don't really know what it is. Like, it seems like cattail bark to me. So I'm not sure what I'll use it for yet, or if I will. But if I don't use it, I'll just put it in a nature offering. And every single thing that I picked up there, when I pick something up, I put down a little bit of my nature offering, which I have, and I'll show that to you here. And so, if you take something from the earth, you should always give back. Some people leave pennies, some people leave flower petals, some people leave salt, some people, it doesn't matter what you leave, but if you're leaving something that's not going to harm the earth, as well as really have a lot of intention into it, and this is made just for foraging. This is my current, like, land sea organic offering, and it's got a lot of stuff in it. Oh god. Lotus leaves, grapefruit peels, orange peels, lemon peels, barley, willow bark, wildflowers, banana petals, or banana flower petals, Norfolk Island pine. So there's a lot of stuff in there. It smells really good. Smell. And so when I take something, I give a little sprinkle of that, and I thank the earth for its bounty and for its graciousness, and however you want to say it, you know. You also don't have to say anything. You can just think it in your head. If you're like my daughter is sometimes and doesn't want to say those things out loud, she's like, oh, just think it in my head. Yeah, absolutely. I just like to say things out loud. So then today, when I was foraging in the forest with Lou, that's her nickname, Lou. She's got a lot of nicknames. Lilith, Lou, Larry. I found this really cool, like, bark peelings that were hanging off of a tree, and then I just kind of pulled them off of the tree because they were letting from the tree anyway. They smell really good. I think it's... I think maybe it's Madrona, but I'm not sure. Maybe like a similar type of tree. And then next to that, I found this wicked bark. This piece is awesome. Still got some moss on it, so I have to use it like soon because it will start to, like, you know, there's moisture in it, so it will start to smell. But I thought it would be cool to, like, lay out some herbs for intention on top of this piece of bark. My chinchilla's, like, going crazy. I might have to take care of him in a minute. Hey, Steves, do you think that you could quiet down for, like, 10 minutes? It's daytime. You're supposed to be asleep, bud. It's so hard to sleep when a chinchilla's up, by the way. So I thought you could just lay down a bunch of things and then just hold your intention over each one, you know. And then when you were done, just maybe lay it out in the forest and give it back to the earth. And let your working just sit there. And as the wind blew your herbs away, got tingles, all down my body just now. So when the wind blows your herbs away, or just an animal walks over it, or whatever nature's gonna do, it just kind of like combines with the universe and with nature. But like I say, this piece of bark I'll have to use soon because it does have this lovely, lovely growth. But look how big it is, you know. And you could also, if you were in the woods, because I think of lots of things, because like when you're on a trail in America where I live, they're kind of like dangerous to if you walk on a trail. Hey Heather Foley, it's been a long time. Nice to see you. You know, you want to have protection because like that's a big like place of like people get attacked, you know, when they're just on trails in the middle of the woods. So I was thinking that you could just like beat somebody off with this piece of this piece of bark. I think lots of things. I tell you guys about half of them. I'm pretty brutally honest. It's my downfall a lot of the time, but that's all right. So next, all we have to do is go through this backpack. I'm gonna fix up my chinchilla super quick. I hope you guys just wait. It's only gonna be like 3 minutes, and I'll be right back. Oh, lordy, lordy. Hey, Steven. Why are you killing your ladder? You mad at your ladder? You need to be a quiet boy. You need to be a good boy and be quiet. Okay, so let's see what's in the backpack. Let's bring you guys a little closer and we'll take a look at what's in the backpack. And I will also show you, I've shown you many times, what I take with me when I'm out foraging as far as like what my foraging kit looks like. But it kind of always changes, and it definitely changes whether I'm in the forest or whether I'm at the beach or whether I'm going into a stream. You know, you got to bring your rubbers, your wellies, and, you know, get everything sorted so that you can do it the right way. Also, I want to say I'm dedicating the rest of my night to finishing my painting. There's just been so much going on family-wise, but it's finally all calmed down. And so the rest of my evening, Uncle Badger is devoted to you and getting at least, I've got a big chunk of the setup done. I just need to actually do the painting. So we'll have another video coming out tonight, either on Patreon or on YouTube, I haven't decided yet, about how to make paints with herbs in them and mixed media canvas work with decoupage paints and herbs. It's going to be pretty freaking cool, I must say. Alright, so let's go through the backpack. So, in the back of the car I found some stuff that I forgot about. That happens a little bit of the time. So this is the dirt from the bar. Bar dirt. Why do you want bar dirt? Okay! Somebody commented on that video, which I've since taken down. Someone commented on that video and said, don't you think that there could be bad spirits attached to it? Don't you think that... Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I prepare myself for that in my own ways. And I guess if you're really curious on how I prepare myself to go gather dirt, I think is tainted with energy. You know, that's a whole nother video. But I want to use this for spirit communication. You know, and I'm not talking about Ouija boards. You know, I'm talking about just like an attachment to that other side. Because as you guys know, I strongly, strongly, strongly believe that alcohol and spirits are one and the same, and when you drink you have a little bit of possession that happens, if not a lot, depending on how much you drink. So I found that bar dirt from that tavern that had been torn down, and then this is graffiti dirt, and from this huge graffiti spot, and it's to inspire my artwork. because I have always thought graffiti was beautiful, just like we saw in the video yesterday, that graffiti at the beach. Anytime I get a chance to take a picture of graffiti, I'm all for it, and I think that you can see some big synchronicities for yourself within graffiti. Hey Jenna Quinn, it's so nice to see you. Welcome, my love. So let's see the rest of the foragings. Oh, there's my brush. I'll pull a Marsha Brady. Should I do 100 brushes? I won't. I just want to get the tangles out of my hair. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. And here's the Greg Brady. Some of you will get that joke, some of you won't. I can't really control it. Can't control much. Alright, so what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? So when I go out foraging, I usually bring a little spade, like a gardening shovel. I bring clippers, like gardening clippers. I bring paper bags, not plastic. I bring my offering, always. If you forget your offering, this might sound horrible. If you forget your offering and you don't have anything and you're like, still need to forage, you know, just say more words where you're at. Give more thanks verbally. That resonation will go into the universe. Or go in nature and pick some wildflowers from around you. Your offering doesn't have to come from this jar that you prepared. If you're in the middle of the woods or at the sea, you can just make a beautiful, like find as many pretty rocks as you can and then set them up and leave them there. Or you can, and I'll read all your comments later, guys, I promise. We'll read them right after the video is over. I just need to get out what I have to say. I'm sorry. Or, this might sound bad also, you can spit. You can cry and give some tears for how beautiful and how thankful you are, if you're the kind of like empath or person that cries at the littlest beautiful thing like me. You know, but do bring an offering to leave something to the earth and give thanks. But again, if you forget it, no worries. Just make it right, yeah? Okay, so next, what do we have in this bag? I think I talked about my foraging kit. Oh, I keep gloves in there. Gloves that have rubber on one side because I forage lots of sharp, spiky things like thorns, like holly leaf, like, or things you can't touch, like fur and hair and bones and stuff. So here's one thing that I found, and Lily and I were just kind of like walking through this little back trail, and there were all these dead pieces of wood kind of going over the trail, and then hanging down from it was this. This wicked cluster of pine cones, and it was hanging down just like this. There's 5 there. And I just thought it was beautiful. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to do something with it. Perhaps, I'll look within and find out what pine cones mean to me right now at this moment. If there's something I need to remove from my life, maybe really setting intention while I pull each of one of these pine cones off and separating that from the vine and making that really a powerful, it's hard to explain in words for me. Like taking that element of magic, taking that element of nature, adding your intention into it, perhaps using some magical herbalism, perhaps not, perhaps just using your intuition, and then taking that and separating it. I did a video on, these are pine cones, yeah? I did a video, it's like 33 minutes on pine cones, pine sap, pine leaves, pine wood, pine nut, all of those things, and in magical herbalism according to Scott Cunningham. And so if you haven't seen that video, do check it out. You would just search the Taxidermy Witch pine. So I grabbed that, and I've got a lot more bags in here. Let's see what I've got. And you know what's funny is that like half of this stuff I remember, but half I don't. And when I get home and I take it back out of the bag, I'm like, oh yeah, you know. And you get so inspired in the forest, really, really you do. Because you look around and you think, I don't need money for anything. Like, I'm going to go about this old school and it'll be more beautiful than if it was something that I learned and studied from a book. And that's my opinion. Really it is. I know that it's not for everybody. But yeah. That's how I'm feeling. So I'll say it. Okay, so when I go out foraging, I bring a pack of these like paper lunch bags. This is what I wrap up all my herbs from my Etsy orders in. Again, my Etsy's down below if you guys need loads of herbs, because I've got over 200 herbs that I can offer. Freshwater Fairy, nice to see you. It's been a while. So happy to see you here. Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. So, in this bag, what do we have? Ah, holly. And I can't really take this out because it's really spiny and pokey, but I have some fresh holly leaves that I need to dry. Jackie T, if I didn't say hi already, hello, welcome, how are you? So good to see you. So I have some fresh holly leaf. Now this came from a holly bush. There are holly trees. There are holly, like around here there's a lot of different types of holly. So yeah, this is one I had to pull my gloves out for today, as well as something that you'll see later. Holly. And we should really only forage what we need. We shouldn't take too much from the earth unless we really need it. This is something I foraged from the sea yesterday. I'm excited to show you guys this. And I bring, like at the bottom of my backpack, I have a bunch of glass jars. When I go to the sea, I don't bring paper because it could get wet and then, you know, icky. But I bring these little glass jars, and then when I get home, I lay them out and let them dehydrate, or I put them in my dehydrator. But I found some new types of seaweed. This is some really beautiful, like, bright red seaweed. Let's see if we can get a better picture. It looks kind of hairy. I found some kelp with air in it. The air's gone almost. Kelp. And just lots and lots of this red hairy seaweed. What will I use this for? Let me think. You could use it for red and purple and color magic. You could use it as hair on a poppet. Scott Cunningham talks about seaweed in his book. I couldn't tell you what it said unless I can reach the book, but that would be a whole nother video. It's over there, y'all. You see it? It's over there. I just have like TV trays everywhere for my video. But you can definitely look it up, but I honestly feel these days like it's better just to look at it, meditate with it, and see what you want to use it for that day. And it doesn't have to be the same the next time you use it. This is how I practice intuitive magic. However, I don't disregard what I remember from reading from Cunningham or anybody else's books. If that sticks with me, it's for a reason. It's because it resonates with me. Like when I think of dill, I always remember it's good for lust, which is funny because you wouldn't expect like pickle smell to be good for lust. Well, maybe you would. I don't really know. Yes, the river and spring, Sonia, totally. God, I've just been having so much fun foraging again now that the winter is like coming to a close. Thank goddess. So what's in here? Right. I love this little forage. This is absolute forest garbage. I will tell you, this is absolute forest garbage, but I looked at it and I was like, that's what I want for my witchcraft. The stuff nobody would think of, ever. The stuff that goes disregarded. The stuff that is not given a second thought. And so, if you're watching this video after the live stream, pause it and guess what I'm going to pull out of here. Just dead leaves on the vine that are completely dry. Dead leaves, all brown, no color, no beauty. I see beauty. Okay? I see beauty in everything. I also see the other stuff, energies and everything, but I can find beauty or a way to use it in an energetic way in everything. So, what will I use these leaves for? These leaves are still on the vine. Okay, they haven't, like, I'm kind of surprised that on the way home in the backpack they didn't break off the vine. But when I do a working, I'll probably use this working for, like, death, like exorcism, death, and I'm not talking about killing somebody. Obviously, you guys know when we talk about death, it's death to a situation. It's to end something in your life and start anew. So I will be, just like we talked about with the pine cones, plucking as you go, taking these leaves off, and as they break from the vine, really envisioning, and detachment, absolutely, Heather Foley, that's a beautiful word. Envisioning and visualizing the best that you can in yourself, that situation happening as you break that away. So things like this simple thing that most people don't think anything of, or think it's just litter of the forest, give me chills to think about how powerful they are. So I want to tell you the next thing. As I was walking to get these leaves, I looked down at the forest floor and, stop it, chills. I looked down at the forest floor and I thought, is that what I think it is? And I looked even harder and I thought, it is. Really, really, yes, Joyce, releasing and letting go, absolutely. Rebirth, anew. So I'm heading toward those dead leaves that I like make a plan in my head. It's real quick and I was like, yeah, that would be great. And I go over there and I, on my way, I don't know why, but I just look down and there's the forest floor, there's like grass, leaves, sticks, pilings, whatever, and below it I see something. It's a fucking little, chestnut top, and there's all these squirrel-eating chestnuts. Hi, Rain, nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. Be good. So then when I was down there, I see these chestnuts that have been eaten by little squirrels. Okay. So lovely that Brittany sent me a whole bunch of small and medium chestnuts. They're great for workings, they're great for offerings, and she sent them whole in the shell. But I found all these ones that had been eaten by squirrels, and I'll show them to you. They're really cute and really cool. So there's no nut inside, and squirrels have eaten off of them, yeah? So to me, I'm going to have to sit with that energy for a while and feel like what it means to me. But when animals work at something in the forest and then you find it and you work with it, it has all that animal energy attached to it. Squeals, right? Uncle Badger? Squeals. Squeals. So there's nourishment, there's hunger, there's foraging itself into this. You could put one of these little pieces in your pockets when you were foraging, because squirrels, they forage and they stuff their cheeks with nuts, yeah? So I found a few handfuls of those, and that was on the way to the dead leaves, when there just really wasn't like a ton of stuff around. And that's what I'm saying, you guys, like really, 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 really look at the seafloor. Really, really, really look at the grass. Like there's things in there that you're not seeing straight away, and it's kind of like the veil, you know. It's kind of like it's in front of all of us all the time, but we just have to like awaken. Yeah. Your mom calls them squills. I love it. Squills. Is she from the East Coast? Squills? Squills, yeah. That's really cute. You guys, I have a working going in the back I need to check on, but we're going to talk about this jar right when I get back. I have a candle going on the other side of my room, and I need to be right there right when it goes out, and I feel like we're right there. So you just be good boys and girls and wait. Or don't. It's up to you. Okay, we're good. I've got about 20 minutes before that candle goes out, so we'll just get this video done now, and I think we have plenty of time to go through the backpack. So let me show you what I bring, what I put my, this is like my main bulk, right? And whenever I run out, I just make a new one, and it's always different stuff. Just as long as it's natural, organic, and biodegradable for the earth and the sea. And so if you guys want to get some of this offering from me, my Etsy's down below. And then I carry it just in one of these lovely little sachets, I guess. Pretty, pretty. So that's in my backpack. Oh yes, what's in this jar? I need to get my gloves on. Gloves. No gloves. Okay, so I was foraging in the forest, right? And then I found, it could be Sam Squinch hair, Uncle Badger, who knows? Lily thinks it's dog hair. I'm like, who would brush their dog in the middle of the forest and then leave a chunk of hair? But okay. So in here, we have some hair that I'm going to give for my mom to look at and tell me if she knows what it is. It doesn't smell super nice. Like, it kind of smells like the forest, but it's also like really, I don't really know. There were no bones next to it. There wasn't really anything around it. But it was kind of stuck to a part of a tree, so like if an animal like walked by and then kind of got like scratched, then so anyway, if I can't defy this, like what it is, then I'll just probably give it back to nature, because I want to make sure I know what the energies are that are attached to the animal. But again, we got some animal energy from those squirrel nuts. Squirrel nut zippers. Okay, and sadly, one of my foraging tools had rusted. So be careful when you keep like your scissors and things like that in your bag where you're going to have water and sea stuff, because they will rust. And now I know this. It sucks. So Lily had to hold the branch and I had to like, I couldn't. I'm a strong lady, but I couldn't do it myself. So those are just trash now, sadly. Sadly. Okay, and then I always bring like some things from friends, and when I go like forage out in the woods, I bring these like lovely spoons that friends made me. This is from Unique Junktique. Brenda sent it over. Bear hair, possibly. It's a little bit light for bear hair. I was thinking like coyote perhaps, but it's a little too fuzzy. I mean, Peggy will really give us a better idea of what it is. And then this spoon that was sent over by Allie, which I absolutely love. And even if I don't use them in the forest, I still have my friend energy with me, which I adore. So those are in there. I know we've got other stuff. Don't we? Is that it? So I just keep like whatever, like tons of jars just ready to keep stuff from the sea that's like, you know, it'll work. And then I think that's it, y'all. I think that's it. So what'd you think? The spoons are fab. Let's just have a little time to chat real quick, and perhaps I'll read you a thing or two from Earth Power. But listen, if you can't find something in a book and you don't know what the heck to do with it, sit with it, feel it, talk to it. I know it sounds ridiculous sometimes, but it's... And if it feels ridiculous to you, maybe it's not for you, you know? But I guess when you get older and more attuned with who you are and just knowing that it's okay and it's not ridiculous, it's just really beautiful. Like the confidence that we develop in our craft and with nature and things. So I want to talk to you guys for a little bit because I haven't been able to keep up on comments because I was going. And then after that I'll read a little bit from Earth Power and then I'll finish my working in the back. And then tonight, all night, I'm working on your painting, Uncle Badger. I'm quite excited about it. Oh, I did find one more thing. This is what I call a letting, which means I didn't take it from the tree. The tree dropped it on the ground, and then I found it. And that's what I call a letting. And I was low on pine, just like pine, evergreen pine. Oh, this smells really good. Yeah, I like that a lot. And so it just, I didn't have to take anything from the tree. The tree had let it go. Those are the things I feel best about taking. However, that's not always going to be the case. So a lot of people, and I don't do this all of the time because sometimes I just know it's all right, but a lot of people ask. They ask the tree, they ask the beach, they ask nature, may I have this? And you listen, and if your first thought is no, it's not for me, then don't take it. If your first thought is yes, this is fine, then take it. Just make sure you give your offering back to the earth. Alright, so let's read what people are saying. You wish you could teleport there, Sonia, to where? Oh, I missed it. Could the rust be used in some working? It's been... Yeah! I see rust as like... Because I keep rusty nails for stuff, like mostly poppets and stuff, but... Rust is age. Rust is chemical reaction. So, I mean, what do you feel like you could use it for, Thomas? That's what I would like to hear. I'm sure if I looked in my hoodoo books, it would tell me all about rust. But I see it as something that happens slowly over time and a chemical reaction. So I would use rust to get a reaction out of somebody, or to finalize something, or to decay something, or rot something in a way. That's what my intuition tells me on that. Joyce says, loved all your stuff and I have to run. Bye, darling. It was so good to see you. Really, really, really nice to have you here. Yes, I'll let you know about shipping. I don't think it's going to be much because I got those flat canvases. I think we're going to be a-okay. Yeah, it's not going to be too much. We're shipping over to the UK. Woohoo! Etsy orders in the UK. I like painting things I have already fallen to the ground. I want to find a branch big enough to make a staff from. Yeah, totally. Oh, I didn't show you guys this cool branch I found that would be perfect for a staff if it was like bigger and thicker. It's got this cool curly top right where like your hand would go when you're hiking, and then it's just kind of like worn. But I'll probably make some sort of exorcism stick out of it, or pounding stick, by just cutting it into fourths and then tying them together with hemp and putting herbs on the inside of the sticks and then pounding them till the herbs kind of come out. Have you heard of anybody doing that? I mean, I don't know. The things that I've been doing since I was a little kid. Like, I just never really applied to the fact that it was witchcraft until the last 3 years. Yeah, Heather, that's a good one. Rust to slow down someone's plans. For sure. For sure. Because if you have metal that's supposed to be like mechanical and working and a mechanism, and then you slow it down, the rust makes it not be able to move, not be able to function. So yeah, slowing down, dysfunction. Rust shows that something has a long life. It's sort of commemorates its working life in a way, so it could be used in a ritual. Yeah, commemorating retirement. Brilliant. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. No, Jen, you're unique. Yay. Thanks. I'm always saying that about myself. Like, for instance, I like to sit right here so it looks like I have horns. All the time. It's just this video I had to be a little closer. So you guys, it was lovely to see you. It was lovely to see some new people in the chat. Very, very, very nice. And, I just care so much about you all. And I want to say have a really good day. And if you want me to make you anything from my foragings, please do let me know on my Etsy below in the description. We can create anything together. Absolutely anything. With your mind and my mind, we'll just make the most unique thing ever. So I love you guys, and I'll talk to you really, really soon. And what's the next video? The next video is going to be magical paints for Uncle Badger's working, and that will either be tonight or tomorrow, but I think it's going to be tonight because, like, I'm really trying to set my schedule and get shit done. Yeah. Blessings, everyone! Love and lightning. Have a really beautiful day and go enjoy nature.